guys, Sensei DePalma here. Just thought we should go over some self-defense basics. A lot of times I think people really concentrate on working in a controlled environment where they tend to practice techniques with a nice and calm heart rate, forgetting that in a real life situation your heart rate generally comes above 140 beats a minute, which means that your fine motor skills are out the window, and you really have to rely on your gross motor skills. So today what we're going to talk about is, first of all, how to control the way that your opponent attacks you. A lot of times people say, what do you mean, how do you control the way that our opponent can attack us? In my opinion, you're going to control a lot right out of the gate from how you stand, from the stance that you get into. So, when I was growing up, of course, watching TV and kung fu movies and things like that, everybody would always see somebody get into a fighting stance, or boxing movies, right? So their hands are here, they're in a fighting stance, ready to fight. And not that I have a problem with that, especially if it's a sporting event or it's an opportunity to box or fight in the UFC. But I think for self-defense, you're putting your cards on the table, so to speak, and letting your opponent know that you're planning on fighting him. So when I was growing up in JuJitsu, we were taught how to put our hands here. So we were coming from a much more humble place, but we didn't have to race our opponent when he attacked us. So again, I think that this is a great stance for attacks from the rear to drop into a good base. But coming from straight ahead, I like to kind of combine the two. I like to bring my hands into a position here, so like as you can see in the camera, you're having a hard time seeing my face. I'm talking to my opponent like I'm coming from a place of negotiating. My hands are here. If he tries to attack me from here, I don't have to race him. And at the same time, I'm controlling how he's going to attack me, because likely he's not going to throw a straight punch. What I mean by that is, why would he punch into my hands, right? Also, he's not really sure whether or not I want to fight. If I do this, he's certain. If I do this, he's kind of like, whoa, what's he doing? And a lot of times, I can just be nice and solid in the way that I'm talking there and have him disarmed just by that. So in this case, I'm going to drop anchor, I'm going to bring my hands up, and I'm going to talk to my opponent. Likely what's going to happen is he's going to attack me with a hook, because he's going to be trying to get around my hands. So whether he's coming around with two hooks trying to tackle me, or he's coming around with one hook trying to hit me, we're going to use the same technique for both of those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring out Sensei Khan, and I'm going to have him give me an attack. And what we're going to do is talk about what we just talked about, which is basically that we are going to control a hook. So if I'm talking to my attacker with my hands here, like I said, he's seeing my hands straight ahead. I'll just go ahead and throw a straight punch. See, he's not likely to throw a straight punch because he's going to run right into my hands. And we'll actually go through that on another segment on how to attack the straight punch. But for this case, he's going to throw a right hook. And when he does, I'm going to step forward and I'm going to bury my hands into his face. I'm going to show this from some different angles so you guys can get some good shots of what we're doing. But again, my hands are here. He's coming to attack. I'm going to step into him, and my hands are going to go right into his face. And as you can see, his arm's wrapping around my head, so he's missing me with the punch altogether. So if you watch how his hand comes in, right, you see how it's ready to hook and hit me into the face? So that's why I need to step forward, bam, and I'm going to hit him right in his chin. And once I get him here, I'm going to push that chin up into the air, make him look towards the sky, and I'm going to start running with him. With all of that 140 beat a minute heart rate, which is really in fight or flight. And that's how people pick up cars off their children. They go into fight or flight, their heart rates are up high, and they drive through their opponent. You're going to put them down nice and hard. So let's switch the angle really quick. I'm gonna move here. Actually, we'll go a little bit of an angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. He's gonna throw a hook, and I'm gonna come straight in, and I'm gonna control his face. You see? And then I'm gonna drive that head up, and I'm gonna start moving right through him until I take him all the way down onto his back. Finally, one mistake I want to point out that you don't want to do is you don't want to come in here and start pushing him straight ahead. See the strength in his chin? I can't drive his chin. I can't drive him. I can't lift his head up if he's giving me resistance in his chin. So what I want to do is I want to get in here to his face, and I want to push that head up so that I'm able to drive all the way through his body. So practice this technique, guys. I practice it every single day. You can rely on it to show up for you under pressure, and that's our technique for the day.